Good morning. You know, I just witnessed something kind of cool. It helps restore a little bit of faith in humanity, because we always hear all this horrible stuff online about porch pirates and people actively stealing other people's mail and packages and what have you. I was just at my P.O. box store dropping off some mail to the government, and this gentleman was in there dropping off a box that he was not shipping, he was not returning. He was doing the good thing that helps restore faith in humanity. Apparently, a package of his arrived at his house, and the tape on top of his box kind of had a crack in it where you could stick your arm down in the box. And he knew what he had purchased, and he thought, well, this feels kind of weird, it's a little heavy. And I think he said he bought a ladder. And so he removed his ladder from the box to find another box inside. He's like, what, I gotta assemble this stupid thing? And it turns out the box inside had a shipping label on it. And as far as he could gather, his hypothesis was that at the sorting facility, somehow the little box fell on top of his box, busted through the tape, landed in the bottom of his box, and got shipped to him with his ladder. Now, you know, if we go by Facebook, Twitter, and all these horrible news stories, we would just assume that this guy would find this box inside his box and think, hey, score, I got a little extra goodie, and crack it open, see what was inside. Didn't even occur to him. He took the box out, set it aside, dealt with his ladder, grabbed the old lady, grabbed the box, went back to the mailbox store and said, hey, here's what happened. May want to have your shipping guy rescan this and get it to its proper destination so that the person who's waiting on this package can get their mail. And so there you go. A little positive story. A little, hey, thank you for doing the right thing kind of thing. Hey, good morning. 65 degrees and foggy here in sunny Southwest Florida. Today's the day I'm supposed to be heading to Georgia. And I say supposed to be because the hardest part about owning your own business and working for yourself and working in IT, you can never truly control brake dust. What's going to happen to your clients' machines and how busy you're going to be. So in a perfect world, I would be packing up and leaving now. But in a normal world, I'm going to go to work, try to get a few things done, hopefully. Still need an oil change if I'm taking the truck. If I don't get an oil change and if I'm able to go, I might have to go snag the Volkswagen. I do get better gas mileage on that. But anyhow, I'm gonna go try to get a few things done, i.e. in particular, I gotta stop at a client's office and check on their machine. And I have a laptop on my bench that I acquired yesterday that I'm hoping to get back up and running today. So cross your fingers I get all this stuff done so that I can get out of town here soon. If not, I may not be going. Sucks. But as you see, I'm prepared to go. I've already cut my hair. I just got to shave and all that good stuff. But we will see how the computer gods act today. Buddy Jerry, he already told me he's not leaving till 5. We have a 4.5 hour drive. So, I mean, push comes to shove, I can leave later today. I'll just get there in the dark and have to set up all my gear in the dark, and that won't be as fun. But, you know, it's not end all be all if I don't get out of here in a few hours. I would just prefer to. So we'll see what happens. Check back in a little bit. If I only had 1,000 followers, that would get me demonetized. Gotta get the oil changed before I can go on this long ass trip. Show you a little fun fact. Apparently 40 cals fit perfectly over valve stem covers. So I got me some new 40 cal valve stem covers. Also, don't forget to rotate your tires.
I never had the drums off.
I thought we might have snuck a peek. Yeah, they got plenty of pad on them. base model.
Both of those. I'm not sure.
I know, that's why I'm filming this. Last time I did my Colorado, I beat the shit out of them with a hammer.
Well, some Toyotas are good about having this, the holes for the
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Thanks to Warren and James over at Jerry's Tire for fitting me in today. I desperately needed an oil change and a tire rotation before I went. Apparently James must have been watching my videos with my squeaky drums, because as you saw, he took off my brake drums to check my pads and then cleaned all the brake dust off. So oh, and I got some new custom homemade tire valve stems that are made out of spent 40 cal casings. So I got some new air stems too. Anyhow, I got a few more stops and then we can hit the road. Okay, so it's 1:51. I'm just now leaving town. Got all my stuff done, got all my customers taken care of. As you can see, I'm sweating. I didn't stop to include you guys on the packing of the truck, well, because one, you've seen it before in past videos, and two, as some of you may or may not realize, that recording videos takes a long time. You got to set up cameras, set up angles, this, that, and everything. And when you're in a hurry, yeah, so I skipped it. I'm going to be arriving at site right now around 7:15. That's not going to count stop breaks, this and that. I'm trying to talk slow. I'm just in a hurry, but I've got to realize that I'm going to get there. When I get there, you know, if it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever, it's going to be dark regardless. So take my time, enjoy the drive. Don't rush, don't get pulled over. The faster I drive, the more gas I'm going to use. And I still got to stop at Walmart. One of the things that I try to do, I don't know if it has any real effect. It seems to, but it could be psychological, could be a placebo effect. Well, last time I drove to Alabama, I used to buy all my food, all my water, all my supplies here in town, load it in my truck, and then drive it for miles and miles. And especially when it comes to like water and soda and anything with bulk weight to it, that's just more weight you're adding to your vehicle, and hypothetically you're causing less gas mileage. And so what I've been getting in the habit of doing is just stopping at a Walmart, maybe 30-40 miles from where I'm going, loading up, and then hitting the road again. Just get my water there. Besides, I live in Florida. There's always chances that when you get to Georgia, Alabama, and these smaller cities, that the cost will be lower, sales tax will be lower. So not only am I potentially saving gas due to less weight, can't prove it or not, but I'm probably saving some money, maybe $2 or $3, just because of lower tax rate and lower prices. Because, well, when you live in a service-based state that rely heavily on tourists, not only do you have high sales tax, but you crank up the prices of your items. So anyhow, I still have to stop, so I need to slow it down. Realize I'll get there when I get there. I'm stopping to get gas now, and whether I get there at 7:30 or 8:30, whatever, I know Jerry and company are going to get there probably 10 or 11, so I won't be the only one setting up at night. And besides, it's going to be nighttime. I've already missed all of the Friday activities, so there's really no reason to freak out, yell at people who aren't driving for damn, and cause myself all kinds of drama. So I'm going to get some gas, get some ice, get some stuff from my cooler, and we will hit the road. Check. So I made it out late last night. I didn't really do any video because, well, I sat in my tent in the dark and it was cold and dark. We went ahead and did the tactical. Hopefully I have some photos to go along with this video. But right now the public is here. So I'm gonna get some video footage of some of the displays. And hopefully we'll get some more video later. it's Sunday and I'm heading back home. Hopefully by the time all this is edited, I have some photos to include in here. I don't have any video of the battle because, well, I don't have a cameraman. We are low production here. I don't have someone follow me around and spend all weekend sleeping in tents in cold weather just to videotape me. And can't be authentic running around with a GoPro strapped to my helmet. Embarrassing moment of the weekend. Met a gentleman named Eric who served in the military and is also a living historian. Wanted to interview him for the What's the Scuttlebutt podcast. Scheduled a time, found a room, went up, set up all my equipment, and then boom, boom. Microphones are sitting back in Cape Coral in my garage. Hopefully. Can't find them, they're in my truck. So I packed all my gear and left my microphones at home in my garage. So that didn't work. Anyhow, all in all, a good time. Very cool thing about this event is we were able to do a tactical and a public battle all on the same day. Now, for those of you who aren't aware or familiar with what a tactical is, it's like a battle reenactment with no public. And hopefully, especially in an area like this, it's when it takes place out in the woods or in an environment that's more similar to where you would have been in the battle that you were reenacting. Oh, there's a little log cabin collapsed back there. And so we're actually on a Boy Scout property. Apparently, if you guys don't know this, if you want to have some cool events or do something cool, you can find a local Boy Scout camp and rent it out for the weekend. Just give them the money and it's yours. And so we were able to go out. I think we walked like a total of 8 miles. Some of the guys tracked it with their cell phones. I didn't take my cell phone into the field, especially when I knew I was going to be out there for like 4 hours. Too much potential for damage. And as much as I love you guys, as much as I want to get you some quality footage, I don't want to destroy my phone, and that's why I know it. Especially when I'm in the middle of nowhere, Georgia, and I need my GPS to get home. I actually have to drive into town, which I don't get signal down here. Lakeland, Georgia has a population of 3,000 people. There's more people in my high school than that. And thanks T-Mobile for your spectacular service. I've had no signal down here all weekend. I actually had to connect to the Wi-Fi built into somebody's Camaro in order for me to call home yesterday. But I was driving around Lakeland looking for an air pump because I got a slow leak in one of my valve stems. I can't talk. On one of my valve stems. And I was sitting in the parking lot of Hardee's. I actually got out to see which tire was low, and I was making a calculated risk because I knew there's only 2 gas stations in this. You know as well as I do, most gas stations' air pumps are destroyed. Crackheads usually take the nozzles off or whatever. Usually the nozzle's cut off, the machine's beat up. So I was a little concerned about having a low tire pressure in a small town with no potential of air. So I pulled into a Hardee's and got out and looked at my tires to see how low they were, if they're visually like the sidewalls bulging, if I was going to damage my tire. And I got back in my car and there's a Facebook Messenger notification on my window. I was like, oh crap, I got it. I got internet. So the only place I could find the internet or cell phone signal was in the front corner of the Hardee's parking lot. So I quickly launched my Google Maps and put in my address so I can get out of this area, because obviously you're in a town of 3,000 people. You're not right off the interstate. And I'm actually have to take Georgia State Route 135 south to get home. And I don't know if they do it to save money or what, but they don't have the north and south on every single pole. So you got to pick a direction. It'll say 135 and drive a few miles till you get to the next one that has the north or the south. And which is kind of cool, because taking 135 north coming up, it actually you hop on that before you get out of the state of Florida. So you actually cross over the Florida-Georgia line like the country band on 135, not on the interstate. So you're actually driving down a 2-lane road in the back of the country, and you'll see the Welcome to Georgia sign. But anyhow, so I'm on my way home. Great time. Back to the whole tactical reenactment thing. Tactical event. It was like a battle reenactment with no public, as I said, and it was cool. We were out there, we had scenarios. The guys doing the Germans did a great job. Favorite part of the day for me is the road started to dog leg off to the right, and for some reason a lot of the guys were sticking to the road. So Josh and I broke out hard right because I was sent up to find out where the contact point was. and Josh went with me, and I sent him at a slow flank, and I took a hard right flank, went over the creek, walked deep back in there, and actually came out on the back side of the field where the Germans were penned up. Sadly for me, luckily for them, their commanding officer had enough foresight to have 3 guys set up a perimeter on the back to follow their flank, and they didn't see me come until I was like, I don't know, 30 yards from a guy, and he was laid up in the brush. So I crouched down a tree, I was scanning the area, I didn't see anybody, and as soon as I stood up and stepped right to the perimeter of that tree line, and pop, so I was out. And so I asked him, I said, do you want me to go back the way I came, or do you want me to walk through your front lines? And so I walked through the front lines, got a pretty good idea of where they were set up. The good news is, by me doing that, they're thinking that probably more of me in a squad instead of just one lonely dude. And so they're kind of now focusing on the rear of their line instead of the front. And it kind of allowed us to come around more through the front and push them back a ways. But it was a good time. And then now this is the 2nd year of the Lakeland, Georgia World War II weekend. And this year we did the Malmedy Battle of the Bulge. They did get out on 40s at night, but it was like 70 yesterday, so the weather definitely, you know, you would think weather in February in Georgia would be a little cooler, but it wasn't. But it worked out better for the spectators. I think if it was super cold, there wouldn't have been as many people. And since this is the 2nd year, the numbers are definitely a lot greater, a lot more public, a lot more reenactors than last year. The problem is when you start an event, first year no one wants to come, except for the people in the group who started it. Maybe a group, especially from out of state, will send 1 or 2 people to check it out, kind of do a scouting mission, if you will, to see if it's worth bringing the rest of their guys up. And clearly enough guys enjoyed it last year, and it was on a different property. So I think after this year, I think more and more people will be amped and happy to have participated. Sorry, I was caught off guard. I actually saw a little bandit sign that said Lakeland World War II back on the road. Oh, that's cool. Nice to see they're doing some marketing. But yeah, it's a good time. So if you're a reenactor and you watch this or listen to my podcast, if you're in the Georgia, I don't even want to say the Georgia area, because one, I drove up from South Florida, but we have people from North Carolina out here. For some reason, Georgia reenactors still aren't showing up, but it's neither here nor there. But we had guys from Florida, North Carolina, and I think maybe even South Carolina, a few other surrounding places. But the numbers were definitely up this year. I didn't bring microphones. Had a good time. The cold wasn't too bad. It was, as always, sleeping on the hard ground. I always have these grand illusions of, oh, I'm going to take my entrenching tool and dig the soil up and loosen it up to make it softer to sleep in, and I never do. I'm usually so tired after driving 5-8 hours that I just get there, set my tent up, throw my blankets in there, and comfort to be damned. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm so happy that I went. Sorry about that, I had to cut the camera. There's a fork in the road, and I had to see on my Google Maps which way I need to go, because I'm still in a small town. Wish I had some money and some time to find some antique stores. Anyhow, I kind of rushed. I'm not surprised I forgot my microphones, because I wasn't quite sure with my schedule, my workload, if I was going to be able to make it. And I was hoping to leave Thursday, because they also had a tactical event on Friday. I really wanted to come out for that, but due to my workload and some other things, it wasn't until noon Friday, or early Friday morning, as you guys saw earlier, that I realized I could come. You can see that at the start of this video, I hadn't even shaved completely yet, because I usually wear a beard. And once I figured out I was coming, I had to go home and shave and grab my gear, load up, and hit the road. But once again, I forgot my microphone, so that sucked. But yeah, good time for all. Great time. I got an update coming up for you guys who've seen my M1 rifle issue, where I talk about my charging handle dislodging from my bolt. Figured out what that was, got it fixed. That alone made this weekend worth it. And the solution was so dumb that when you watch the video, you're like, yeah, that makes sense, you idiot. But it's just one of those things in real life you just don't even think about. So that video is coming up. You guys can laugh at me, make funny comments about how dumb I am in that. Or maybe there's somebody out there dealing with the same issue that didn't think of the same thing that I didn't think of, and will be happy to see that I provided them with a solution. So look forward to that. thank you guys so much as I wipe my nose on my finger because I'm cold and it's cold 64 degrees. But yeah, it's I don't know time. It's 7:49 a.m. and heading the road. See you guys later. Thanks for all the support. You know what to do. Bye. Okay, so I just stopped in Sarasota. One thing I had set up before I left, kind of like the last video I did where I found that sweet field telephone, but it was in Merritt Island, Florida, which is a little bit northeast of Miami. It's like 6 hours away. I never went and got. I was supposed to actually go get that when I did the Savage race. You guys saw a video a while back. Anyhow, Facebook Marketplace, I discovered somebody selling a World War II era waterproof quote-unquote sleeping bag. Actually right here, but as you can see, it's not a sleeping bag as we think of them. It's basically waterproof canvas that you would put your wool blanket inside of, so that if it was raining or the ground was wet, and it would provide more insulation. But it kind of answers the question why we call them sleeping bags, because the sleeping bags we're all familiar with is basically a blanket folded in half at the bottom sewn up. This looks more like a black bag. Morbidly, it almost looks kind of like a body bag, but clear. I'm 6'5", I'm not going to fit in it, but it's something cool to add to my impression. And full disclosure, I paid $10 for it. I sold a reproduction ammo belt I found at an antique store a while back. I sold it to a young kid getting into the hobby this weekend who needed one desperately. So I sold it for like 15 bucks. So I turned around and bought this sleeping bag for 10. So I still, you know, came out $5 on top of that. But anyhow, I'm excited to unfold it and see how much my body does fit into it. Maybe I'll film a video of that later. But you know, hey, when else am I going to be in Sarasota? I'm not going to drive an hour and a half to pick up a $10 item, but if I'm passing through on the way home, why not multitask? Save, you know, use your gas for good. You know, you're going to burn some gas to do an event. Why not pick up some new product on the way home? You know, I might keep it for a few years. If I don't fit in it, maybe somebody who does wants to buy it off me. It's dated 44. It still has the tag on it. What's left of the tag, half of it's ripped off, but you can see where it's dated 44. I'll do a close-up on it either at the end of this video or another video. So the trip's not over yet. 12:40. I'm back on Sarasota on my way home. I should be home around 2 o'clock today, and my trip will be finally over. And yeah, anywho, yeah, I like the shirt. One good point. Represent my friends. Anywho, talk to y'all later. Sure, I'll have to tell you this, but if you're using your own wool blankets and pump tits at World War II event, make sure you air the things out before you store them so they don't have a mildew smell the next time you use them. It's Monday morning, it's a bit chilly out. Gotta go back to work, but that is how the weekend plays out. Pack up your stuff, drive, set up, do an event, come home, unpack it, set it out, let it dry out. Me personally, pack it back up, put it all back in that corner so I don't have all this mess in my garage, and wait for the next event. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Also go to WTSPWorldWar2.com and please subscribe to Patreon. It's $1 a month. There's also a $3 plan and a $7.50 a month plan. Choose that plan. I'll send you a t-shirt of your liking after month number 2. Thank you guys for all your support, and we'll see you next time.
This has been a Digital 410 production.